And Police Chief. Chief?
Appreciate it. Good afternoon. Thanks, John, for honoring the memory of your girlfriend by being an advocate, not just for the lives of the people that are still going to be touched by gun violence, but in the memory of the people that have already been touched. And I think it's a great thing that you're doing and continue to do. And Mayor, I wanted to say before I make my comments is thank you for your leadership. You truly do understand the importance as a veteran of protecting our communities. And today I'm really honored to be here with the Mayor and John on behalf of common sense, and good judgment. For those that are political leaders that on one breath want to say they stand for law and order, that they stand for families, that they stand for peace, that they stand for the safety of our children, the safety of our students, the safety of our co-workers, the safety of our family members, and the safety of our neighbors on one breath, and then turn around and say that they do not support background checks that will absolutely keep firearms out of the hands of criminals. They are being disingenuous. It does not add up. You cannot argue against universal background checks with a straight face and tell me that you are in favor of public safety. Universal background checks is about keeping firearms out of the hands of criminals and those that are not authorized by law to bear firearms. That's all. That's all it will do. It will ensure that we have one way of doing it in all 50 states. It will ensure that there will be no loopholes. I call the loophole the Grand Canyon of loopholes because unfortunately, no matter how tough gun laws are in one city, in one state, all people have to do is go to the internet or go to another city in another state to purchase firearms they're not entitled to. Background checks are absolutely critical. Tens of thousands of Americans are being gunned down year in and year out. And too many of those firearms are being bought legally by people that will go to gun shows and understanding human nature and greed will buy the weapons and then go out and sell it to the criminals that aren't entitled to have them. I want to reiterate that most American law enforcement stand behind universal background checks. The major city chiefs and most chiefs in Texas understand that the Second Amendment is about keeping firearms in the hands of law-abiding, of sound mind Americans and out of the hands of criminals and people that will do us harm. No more and no less. You protect the Second Amendment by doing what we can to keep those guns out of the hands of criminals, in the hands of crazy people that are going to hurt themselves or others. 6.6 million firearms were purchased and transferred in 2012 without a background check. That is criminal. We would not allow as a nation for 6.6 million cars to transfer ownership without some kind of paperwork, without some kind of process, because we understand that too often they're instruments of crimes. And firearms are the same thing. I know that some of my friends that are on the other side of the fence here, they're not necessarily against background checks. What they use is the slippery slope, the excuse of the slippery slope. And I will say this, that using the excuse of a slippery slope without anybody going over the side, down the slope, is no excuse at all. You either stand for the law-abiding, you either stand for the peace-loving people of our nation, or you stand with criminals and people who don't belong with guns. The last thing I want to say is 80% of prison inmates that were interviewed on how they got their firearms acquired them through private transfers. 80%. A background check, which I've done in my old state, that I won't name it because in Texas it's not cool to mention. All right, California. It's as simple as going to a federally licensed firearms dealer, one's right behind us, filling out the paperwork, doing our due diligence, waiting a couple of days, and guess what? You get your firearm, unless you are a criminal or you're crazy. It's not about keeping guns out of the hands of law-abiding Americans. And I'm sick and tired of people lying to the American people. It is time. The time is now. The time is now to act. And I am very proud to stand here with my mayor and with our constituent, John Woods, to say that the time's today. You're either for law and order or you're in favor of chaos and thousands of Americans dying every year. Thank you.